Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening, morning, or even afternoon to my lovely lecturer, Dr. Joanna, as my supervisor for the PALS program, and to everyone who's watching this video right now. So, this video will be talking about my early school experiences, or also known as PALS, and my exploration project on pedagogical practice and school culture. So, my name is Muhammad HAFIZUDDIN bin Muhammad WAHAB, metric number 215794. And let's begin. So we will begin by the introduction of the school. So the chosen school for my PALS program is Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Jalan 4, also as known as Jalan 4 Secondary School, or also known as JES. So fun fact about JES is actually my old school. So I know this school quite well, but in my opinion, overall opinion of this school now and back then, it is a very, very different school. So now we should begin with the school history. So this Sekolah Menengah SMK Jalan 4, JES, construction began in 2002 and fully operated on the 6th of January, and then began their journey as a special plan school starting in 2005. What does it mean by special plan school? Basically, this school back then, they require the student must have a requirement to get into the school. For example, back then the requirement of this school, your student have to have at least 5 A's in UPSR to get into the school. So the special plan school is basically a lot of smart students gathered into a school, and then this will become a better school in the future. So, like I say, going back to the history, this produced excellent academic performance, especially in 2010, because mostly in 2010, they start to have actually from 2005 actually they start to have a lot of improvement in their academic performance. For example, in 2005, they have 108 number of students that got straight A's in PMR, and then in 2010, however, they got a lot more, around 128 students, and this might be one of the more highest in recorded history of PMR, of people getting straight A's. So this is how it got its special plan school. So initially, only this school only offer pure science courses to Form 4 and Form 5 students. But now, however, it opens a lot of more variety of courses, and subjects such as accounting, pure science, engineering drawing, as well as Arabic or even uh, pendidikan Islam. So this makes the school does not have any requirement to join the school. So anyone could join the school now. So that's why I think it's a little bit different. And for example, I think in my perspective, the school back then and now is really, really different. It's like I don't recognize the school anymore. So uh, going on into the introduction of the school. So now is the school logo. Okay, what's interesting about the school logo is, in fact, that the school logo uh, consists of a book. So the book, as you can see, symbolizes an informed generation, love for knowledge and experience, and they also have the global network in the middle. So symbolizes heading towards the globalization of the international level education based on information technology, or also known as e-learning. And the scroll symbolizes academic and co-curricular skills, and the five ring in the below symbolize the balance of co-curriculum and curriculum. The three people, which is integrating all races, main races in Malaysia. The diamond symbolize a star figure, and the dark red color symbolize creativity, brave, and innovative. White color symbolize pure, blue color symbolize unity, and yellow color symbolize spirit of love for our country, for our school, even. So, like the worded symbol explanation, we have the berilmu, beramal, ikhlas, berbakti. Basically to symbolize good equality, practice knowledge, and experience the knowledge, and practice their religion. And student also in ikhlas, student also have to be more responsible and having a noble character. And berbakti means students have to give something back to the community. Okay, before we move on, sekolah Jalan 4 or JAS is located in also near my hometown, which is in section 4 Taman Bandar Baru Bangi. So it is very not too crowded, but it is a nice place to be having school there. So now we're moving on to our vision, mission, and the philosophy. So I'm just going to read this. So the vision is an excellent school that generates distinguished generation, and the mission is to develop individual potential through quality education. So the philosophy of the school, as mentioned, is always develop the potential of students to a more outstanding level of achievement in the field of curriculum and co-curriculum. So creating a culture of reading and fostering communication in line with national aspirations and sophistication of the cyber world. So towards realizing a loving and polite society, make the school environment more conducive and cheerful in effective teaching and learning process. So physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, and social aspects are considered to give birth to a perfect and balanced person in the world and in the hereafter. So this is all the vision, mission, and the philosophy of the school. So the school infrastructure. Okay, there's a lot of infrastructure in the school, but I'm going to talk about the main one there is in it. So like the first picture, we could see that they have this APD room or alat pandang dengar, where it's audio visual room. So people can do speaking tests, listening tests here. They also have art room, which like the name suggests, a room where students can do art. They also have RBT room or Reka Bentuk Technology room, where they can cook, they can create stuff, and they can tinkering there. And they also have a multiple hall. Like I think that there's 3 hall in the school, but this is one of them. The hall are used for exams or even like any program outside. They can do in the hall, and then also have bahasa room, language room. So languages room, like most languages, the student they can, if they study, if they are learning BM, BI, or even Tamil, they can learn in this room. And there's also a 21st century room, which is a room that have a lot of higher end technology, such as this white e-smart board, the smart board. So yeah, smart board that a student can use to create. Instead of drawing, they can create by just touching like smartphones. But instead, it's a smart board. So and then they also have a lot of labs, but that a lot of labs like any other school. But what I'm interested in the computer lab, because what I see, they provide a lot of laptops for each student that get into the lab, and all the laptops are also well equipped and also well maintained. So this is all about the school infrastructure. So about the school administration and organization, so basically goes with the principal, Muhammad Farid Fahim bin Muhammad Elias Majid, and also go to the administrative senior assistant, Rosmawati bin Kamaruddin, and then moving on to the students affairs senior assistant, Azina binti Mokhilas or Mokhilas, co-curricular senior assistant, Nur Aisyah binti Rahman, head of language subject, Salina binti Mamat, head of science and mathematics subject, Sufwati bin Muhammad, head of humanities subject, Ahmad Izzah bin Rafi'i, and the last one, head of technical and vocational subject, Nur Surati Azira binti Muhammad Abidi. So among all of this, we have met Miss Azlina, Puan Azlina, and then also I have met Puan Rosmawati. I even have met the principal itself, who is a great teacher, and I think it could be a mentor to all students, because he also a TESOL student, and Muhammad Farid Fahim bin Muhammad Elias Majid. Okay, moving on. So about the school culture and climate. So the school focus back then and even now focuses more on academic performances. So basically they are, because they want to compete with other students, especially on academic performance, so they can maintain their own dignity as well as the teachers' dignity as well. So teachers, teaching that school, especially for, um, much more strict when it comes to academic performances because they can do a lot of stuff such as additional class, additional curricular, and as well as additional lessons that take their own free time to make sure that the students handle well in their academic performances. So other than that, they also have their culture also focus on personal development uh, as for both students and teachers. This can be seen by how each and every student that I saw that interact, that do activities, they often do it by themselves and they learn by themselves, and or even learn from their friends or their friend. And it can be seen that their friend is also teaching them without the guidance of teacher. I mean, the teachers are there, but mostly the students that are teaching each other. So this also can be seen for the teacher, because I think that when I was in the teacher's room, it's good to see that old teacher also have giving guidance and tips to the new teacher, especially the intern or even myself. So I think it's good. And then there's also the emphasis on respecting each other. That of course goes to any other school. For example, emphasis on respecting each other. They have this culture called salam kasih, which means they put their hand on their heart, and then they bow down respectfully and they Assalamualaikum cikgu, Assalamualaikum teacher, or any other guys, Assalamualaikum kawan tuan. So they do this automatically, and then it's not like they brainwash the student to do it, but it's kind of unique that this kind of culture exists in a school, because I don't think there's a lot of school that does this kind of culture. So they also this their culture and climate also based on discipline and punctuality as the principle of the core principle of the school, because they took disciplinary action really seriously, especially when it comes to punishment or even people that are late to come to school, something like that. Other than that, we're going to talk about the parent-teacher association. So basically, the two things that about parent-teacher association I can see there is basically to unite parents and teachers together, and by being uniting, they can contribute by letting them know what their concerns is and giving ideas how to solve the issues in there. And the second one, the parents can also give funds and even concern for their children. Mostly the parents in parent teacher association mostly are giving funds to make program and so forth. So one of the program that we can see in there is basically they have grand annual meeting for the PIBG or parent teacher association, and they also have program gotong royong, so of just bersih and charity. So basically they come up with the parents and their children and the students and even the teachers. They come up together and they paint the wall, clean the classroom and all. So yeah, I think parent teacher association there are really active. So other than that, we also going to talk about Jalan Empat Secondary School Alumni Association, also known as JASA. So JASA is actually, I should be in this. Actually, I am in this anyway. So basically, it's all about networking as well as sharing experience and tips. So what I'm talking about networking, because most students would refer to this to their alumni to refer them to the higher educational university that they wanted. So, or even they can find work from their alumni. Other than that, most of the alumni share their experiences and tips. Especially even in my second day of being there, they asked an alumni or a friend of mine, which is Sheikh. I call him Sheikh. Give a talk about his life on uh, on apa on in university. Yeah, it's his life on university. I like give tips what he do. So it's kind of interesting how the school keep in contact with alumni to give this sort of things. They also have like an event like Bicara Bonfire Bangi, which they talk about a lot of things. Like for instance, they talk like this. They talk about crypto and how it affects life or something like that. So other than that, I'm going to talk about uh, the reflection itself. So we'll be moving on to the reflection. So the activity in classroom during teaching and learning. So the first, I can see there's like set induction while learning and post lesson. So during my classroom, during my observation in class, or in my classroom, which is teacher Nita classroom, which is my supervisor. So during that time, I can see that he uses set induction like posing question regarding the subject, like asking like, can you relate to this? What do you think that is? For example, during one of the classes, they're talking about superstition. So they asked about have they have have they known about the superstition, and then while learning, while they she asked teacher Nita asked to brainstorm ideas and write about what the interpretation of superstition based on what the question for the set induction. So we did this like go smoothly, and then after that they have post lesson by having worksheet and homework by homework, which means they ask teacher need to ask them to write a whole essay about their experiences on the superstition itself. So this set induction while learning goes on with any other class as well. So reflection on the teaching aids used in the classroom. So there are three that I can see. There's one worksheet, basically the homework itself, which is simple but effective. And the second one is classroom projector, which is I think in Form 5 classes, they have each classes have classroom projector for teacher Nita to use. And there's also the computer lab that most student can use or teacher can use to do online quizzes or even using online references or videos. So the pedagogical practice applied in the classroom. Firstly, we have student-centered that often used in an advanced or smarter classes. That I can see that teacher Nita asks the student to be more talkative or to be open in their discussion when it comes to a more advanced class. So other than that, we also have teacher-centered, which is more focused on the teacher talking rather than the student talking. It is more for immediate, intermediate, and beginner level students, especially because I think it's not good for this beginner or intermediate level students to talk because they might get overwhelmed or they might not be more confident about themselves yet. But it's a good way to make them learn by looking at what the teacher are talking or saying. Other than that, I'm also no reflection about the preparation of the lesson plan. Basically, what I can say that make sure the lesson plan are suitable for student based on their capabilities. Like I said, we have to make sure that we have to identify either the students are in which level they are in to make sure our lesson plan suits them. So if we make it to advanced, the intermediate or beginner level students cannot catch up. So basically that's it. And the other one is make sure to the lesson plan align with the Ministry of Education. And what this mean, because Ministry of Education has given us like rules, regulation, and even guidance to what we should teach our students. So Teacher Nita said that we should just follow it and hopefully that it would work. And mostly it is working. So implementation of HOTS or high order thinking skills in the classroom. So I observed, most students can form their own opinion, and this could encourage creativity and even courage. So yeah, student-centered learning also implement a lot of high order thinking skill in the classroom by adding creativity. And I think Miss Nita, from what I observed, Miss Nita often asks about what to think to make sure that her classes or her students to think more openly and to think outside the box as well. Other than that, we can also how this element can help students prepare themselves as a potential teacher. So one, we can gain a complete understand of what it means to be an educator. So we can we experience it before we even become an educator, because we observe people who are doing it, or we observe firsthand what is happening. And the second one is introduce the variety of teaching strategies. We can learn from others teachers, or we can by observing them, and motivates future teacher to educate in a flexible manner. What it means by this, because like using from what I can see, there's a lot of teaching aids that we can use. So we have to be flexible in which teaching aids that we should use, and we also have to learn how to do manageable um, plotting of the lesson plan, which means we have to do a lesson plan that is can easily be managed. For instance, to make sure that the lesson plan are according to who our students, what our what are the capabilities of the student, and we also are able to incorporate HOTS in the lesson plan as well. So, like I said, when we are doing lesson plan, it's better to have these high order thinking skills in our lesson plans to make sure that our students will always think not only just inside the classroom, but outside of the box as well. So, reflection on the curricular activities. So, one of the curricular activities that I joined is the firefighter club, which is really interesting. So, because mostly the student itself manage the activities. From this, what I mean, they have teachers that who is supervising, but only give background support like calling the real fighter to came, or even providing funds to their activities. But most student is managing the activities itself. For example, I saw a student teaching each other, or even student directing each other to be more disciplined. I think it's really interesting because most student doesn't from any other school doesn't do this. So one of many activities that they do is the rope training, medical training, and even a fire drill when I was there. So, reflect on the importance of co-curricular activities on teaching professionalism. So one is giving teacher the chance to cultivate values and abilities outside the classroom by providing them a greater understanding of personality, strength, and risks for improvement of their students. So yeah, co-curricular is outside the classroom, and we can teach them this kind of personality traits or strength to make sure our students understand what for them to improve on. Other than that, we also promotes important professional characteristics like adaptability, time management, and even teamwork. So uh, by organizing activities or helping students overcome obstacles, which promotes adaptability and resilience. Uh, so yeah, I think the importance of curricular activities is a lot, especially in teaching professionalism, because not only curricular activities teaches the student, but also teaches um, teacher as well. So now we're going to reflect on our the school culture and the work culture. So the school culture, like I said before, they have salam kasih, which points out their respect towards each other, and they also have punctuality and discipline. For example, right, uh, if someone is late, they're going to get punished, just not like school or just write their names, but instead, I always saw in the morning every single day the one who is late, they have to jog around the school. I think it is harsh, but it is kind of interesting how they take discipline and punctuality really, really straight. So other than that, they also have Tuesday is English day. Basically, in every Tuesday, they have to talk in English, especially in front of their friends, in the classroom, or even during the assembly. So other than that, the work culture there is very supportive and guiding. What I mean by this is because I see even it happens to me like old teachers often give support or even give guidance to or even give tips to newer teacher or intern or even me. Uh, so it's good to see that this is happening even in for the teacher's perspective. And I also find it really interesting. They have banquet every week. During my time there for 2 weeks, I have eaten like 3 times a banquet, not just like the whole teacher room. They gather food and put it in the teacher's room for everyone to eat for free. And I think it's really interesting to make them bond together and to make them release stress. And that time they complain, and yeah, it's really interesting. So advantages and disadvantages of implementing the school culture and work culture in the school. The advantage, they can encourage using real life English language experience, as well as encourage discipline and punctuality. The disadvantage, like I said, I think it's too punishing, and the student itself is sometimes in Tuesday, right? They have English day. Sometimes they can be self-conscious, which means uh, they are worried that they cannot speak English at that time. So I think that's also need to be improved. So while talking about improvement, we can suggest some improvement. So what should we be improving is by instead of like jogging, they can do time management workshop. And then other than that, we can make events on the English day rather than just you need to talk in English. But instead, they make event that make sure that students learn to talk in English while trying to practice it instead of they need to practice it. So other than that, I think for the teachers part, they can do official mentorship program for new teachers. Like I said, they since the old teachers love to support and guide the new teacher. I think they should do official mentorship for this. So other than that, what should be kept? Also, the Salam Kasih is quite unique because it shows respect. The English Day, of course, because I think dedicating one day for English Day is quite a good initiative to make sure that English stay in the classroom even we are in a Malaysian context. And other than that, eating together as a teacher, yeah, this should be kept because it can help bond with the teacher. The teacher can also share issues together or even share ideas together. So I think it's good for the teachers as well. Okay, for summary, I would like to propose a Sulam program, which is Performance in English Workshop, which mean by this is performance and English comes together, boom, performance in English workshop. So basically, we teach students to focuses on not only English, but also in the arts of English, such as the role playing, poetry, choir, or even storytelling. So for students can come, students are with this program, students can communicate better with each other and can be more confident in talking in English or even conversing in English or even while doing all this, they can have fun while doing it. So I think my Sulam program would be good, especially for this school, because I don't think I see any program that does this. Even the English club at the time does not have any choir club. So I think this would be a really interesting addition to this program and to this school. So before I end this, I think I would like to talk about my experience during this PALS. So I think overall my experiences during this PALS is really good, and it's a really great experience, and it also motivates me to be better. And before I end, thank you to everyone who is watching and to Dr. Joanna and even Dr. Joanna for giving me this opportunity to finish my PALS program. And thank you, everyone. That's it.